Hi guys, I am the president of Chickenlandia, and today we're going to talk about two of the most common baby chick issues and how to treat them naturally, the Chickenlandia way. Getting your first batch of baby chicks is one of the most exciting things that you can do. I just love helping people get started with their first flock of chickens, but sometimes you can run into problems. So, first off, I'm going to give you my disclaimer. I am not a veterinarian. I'm not a licensed homeopath. But I've been doing homeopathy for over 20 years, and I work very closely with a homeopath that has helped me several times with my chickens. And as you can see, they're doing pretty well. We got it, honey. We got that you laid an egg. Beast laid an egg. So, as always, I'm going to encourage you to do your own research, do what you feel comfortable with, and if any of this isn't for you, that is totally fine. I fully support you in your chicken keeping journey. The first issue we're going to talk about is called starve out. Now, this is basically when a baby chick does not get enough food and clean water soon enough after it hatches. Baby chicks have about 3 days before they really need to get to food and water. And if they don't get to it in time, they can really suffer and just not thrive. Chicks that have been shipped through the mail are especially susceptible to starve out because they've really had a very stressful experience. They either went to a farm store or they came to your home, but either way, that's a lot of traveling and stress to experience before you're 3 days old. So keeping that in mind, I definitely recommend that you show your new baby chicks where the food and water is. I like to make a little clucking sound like the mother hen would make to show them where the food is. And also, I will dip their little beaks very gently into their water to make sure they know where their water is. I also like to put a little drop of rescue remedy into their water. Now, what this is a flower remedy. It kind of works in a similar way to a homeopathic. And all you have to do is just put 1 drop in their water, and that will help them with the stress of the transition. But let's say you have done everything right, you've shown your chicks where the water is, you've shown them where the food is, you've given them a little bit of rescue remedy, and there still is one of them that just doesn't look right. It is droopy and listless. It's not eating or drinking. This is not a good state for a baby chick to be in. First off, you're going to separate this chick from its flock. Now, I know that chickens are flock animals, they should be together when they can, but right now is a time when you really want the chick to not be stressed out by its other flock mates. You want to put it in a nice quiet area with its own heat source, just to make sure that you can keep an eye on it and that it's not getting stressed out by the other chicks in the brooder. Now, at this point, I might get my rescue remedy again and put a little drop on the chick's back and just rub it in. That's a great way to dose them with this, and I find that it works quite well. It could be any number of things that this chick is suffering from, but more than likely what this chick is experiencing is starve out. So what you need to do is make sure to get food and water into this chick as soon as possible and get them to have the will to eat and drink on their own again. My go-to when I have a baby chick that isn't doing well is to take a little bit of very weak green tea, a little bit of raw egg yolk, a little bit of vitamin and electrolyte powder, and create a mixture that I can put into a needleless syringe. Now, at this point, I will likely add a homeopathic to this mixture that I've created for them, and my first go-to is aconite. Okay, so I had to go get my kiddo. He was missing me. Say hi. Nope. Okay. So, where were we? Aconite is a great remedy to use when a chick has been through a fearful or stressful experience, which you can guarantee has happened if this chick has been shipped through the mail. Even if it hasn't, just going from the place where it hatched to your home is often very stressful for it. So what you're gonna do is, because this chick is not eating or drinking on their own, you will give them just a drop at a time, feed them very gently and very slowly, because it's very easy to drown a chicken or a baby chick if you try and force feed them. You don't want to do that. You just want to put a drop on their beak and see if they will try to eat it on their own. And usually they will. So after you dose them once, keep an eye on them. If they don't perk up, if you don't notice any change, then this is not the right remedy. And you should notice a change in a situation like this pretty quickly. I would say probably in 30 minutes to an hour, you should notice something if this is the right remedy. If you don't notice anything, there's no improvement, there's no change, I would move to carbo vegetabalis, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I usually just call it carbo veg. So you dose it the same way you would aconite. You just take one pellet, and remember, you just twist it, and a little pellet comes out. You take that one pellet, you put it into the mixture that you're feeding them, and you give it to them one time. And then you are going to wait and see. If you have used both of these homeopathics and you've not noticed any change, I would stop dosing them at this point and just concentrate on getting some nutrition into them. Keep feeding them the egg yolk and green tea vitamin mixture. I would do that about once an hour. Just make sure that they're getting some nutrition into them, and hopefully they will get enough strength and will to start eating and drinking on their own. Another very common issue with baby chicks is called pasty butt. And I talked a little bit about this in my live shoot last week. It's a condition where basically there is a collection of fecal matter over the chick's vent. Now, the vent is basically where everything comes out. That's where they poop. Later in life, that's where they will lay their eggs. So you want to make sure that it's nice and healthy and clear. But when they have pasty butt, it is covered with a collection of fecal matter, and they literally cannot poop. So the poop can't come out, it doesn't have anywhere else to go, and as you can imagine, this is not a good condition for chicks to be in, and they can die from it. So when you have a baby chick with pasty butt, the very first thing that I would do is give them a dose of Rescue Remedy. Just put a drop on their back and rub it in, and that will be good for them because likely they have been under stress if they're having that symptom of pasty butt. The next thing that you'll want to do is get a nice warm bowl of water and some paper towels. You're going to dip the paper towels into the warm water and then very gently wipe the chick's bottom and remove that fecal material. You just want to be really, really gentle with it because it's a very sensitive area. You can easily, really hurt them if you do it too harshly. You have to be very patient and do it very slowly and gently. Then what you want to do is wipe them off really well, dry them off really well, put them back under their heat source. If they're really wet, then you need to get a blow dryer, put it on its lowest setting, and gently blow dry them off until they're nice and fluffy again. Make sure that you check them daily after that because they are very likely to have it occur again. You just want to make sure to keep that vent clear so that they don't have any problems from it that are very easily preventable. In general, baby chicks are very resilient, but sometimes their lives just aren't meant to be. And it's really hard. It's hard for me. I've been doing this a while now. It's really hard for me to lose a baby chick. But one thing I know is that every spring, new baby chicks are born. And that is a way for me as an adult to learn the cycle of life, and also for my children to learn it as well. So I take heart in that. I really hope that you guys have learned something today. I hope it was nice and simple for you, as always, because that's the Chickenlandia way. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.